Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. When you think of a US president, what comes to mind? The White House, Air Force One, a life of power and prestige, right? We often assume that wealth is part of the package. But what if I told you that some of the most influential leaders in American history were, to put it mildly, broke? Today we're uncovering the surprising stories of the broken bold, the 10 poorest leaders in US history. These are tales of principle over profit and public service over personal fortune. It's a side of the presidency you've never seen before. If you find this fascinating, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a new video. Let's kick things off with a name that might surprise you: Harry S. Truman. Coming in at number 10, Truman left the White House with a net worth of less than $1 million in today's money. Before politics, he was a haberdasher whose business failed, leaving him in debt for years. He famously said, "You can't get rich in politics unless you're a crook." Truman refused to cash in on his presidency, turning down lucrative corporate offers. His financial struggles after leaving office were so apparent that they directly led to Congress doubling the presidential salary and creating a presidential pension. Truman's integrity set a new standard for post-presidential life, proving that a leader's true worth isn't measured in dollars. At number 9, we have a founding father, James Monroe. Despite a long and distinguished career as a governor, senator, diplomat, and two-term president, Monroe lived lavishly and mismanaged his finances. He spent enormous sums of his own money while serving as a diplomat in Europe, expecting to be reimbursed by the government. But a lot of those claims were denied. He was forced to sell his beloved Highland plantation to pay off creditors. He spent his final years living with his daughter in New York City, relying on her family's support and a congressional grant. It's a sobering reminder that even great leaders can fall on hard times. Next up, at number 8, is Ulysses S. Grant. The victorious Civil War general and two-term president had a knack for winning battles but not for business. After leaving the White House, Grant invested his entire life savings into a financial firm with his son. Unfortunately, his partner was a fraud who swindled everyone, leaving Grant completely bankrupt. Facing poverty and a terminal cancer diagnosis, Grant raced against time to write his personal memoirs. He finished them just days before his death. The book became a massive bestseller, earning his family nearly $500,000 at the time, equivalent to over $15 million today, and securing their financial future. It's a story of incredible resilience and a father's final act of love. Now for number 7, William Henry Harrison. His presidency was the shortest in U.S. history, just 31 days, so he didn't have much time to benefit financially from the office. Harrison came from a once prominent Virginia family, but by the time he ran for president, his wealth had dwindled. He lived on a modest farm in Ohio. His supporters even crafted a log cabin and hard cider image for him to appeal to the common man, painting him as a rugged frontiersman, even though he was born into relative privilege. He entered the presidency with significant debt and, due to his untimely death, left his family in a precarious financial situation. At number 6, we find Andrew Johnson, the man who succeeded Abraham Lincoln. Johnson came from humble beginnings, working as a tailor before entering politics. He never accumulated much wealth throughout his career. His presidency was tumultuous, marked by his impeachment and fierce battles with Congress. After leaving office, he didn't have a large fortune to fall back on. He returned to his home state of Tennessee, and in a remarkable political comeback, was re-elected to the U.S. Senate just before his death. His story is a testament to his sheer political tenacity, even if it never translated into personal riches. We're halfway through our list. If you're enjoying these surprising histories, please give this video a thumbs up and let us know in the comments which president's story shocks you the most. Now, let's get back to it. Coming in at number 5 is a name synonymous with honesty: Abraham Lincoln. Honest Abe was born in a one-room log cabin and was largely self-educated. As a young man, he co-owned a general store that failed, leaving him with what he called the national debt, a financial burden that took him over a decade to repay. Even as a successful lawyer, he was known for charging modest fees. His entire estate upon his death was valued at around $85,000, most of which came from his presidential salary. Lincoln's focus was always on preserving the Union, not on enriching himself. His legacy is one of moral fortitude, not monetary gain. At number 4, we have a man who shaped the Constitution, James Madison. Despite being a brilliant political theorist and 2-term president, Madison was a terrible farmer. His Virginia plantation, Montpelier, consistently lost money. He struggled with debt his entire life, often selling off parcels of land to stay afloat. After his presidency, his financial woes only worsened. He tried to innovate with new farming techniques, but nothing seemed to work. He died with his estate heavily mortgaged, a stark contrast to the intellectual wealth he bestowed upon the nation. Now for our top 3. At number 3 is William McKinley. Before becoming president, McKinley had a promising career as a lawyer and congressman. However, in 1893, he co-signed a loan for a friend whose business collapsed. As a man of honor, McKinley felt obligated to repay the entire debt, which was over $100,000, a colossal sum at the time. He was on the brink of financial ruin and was only saved when wealthy supporters, like Mark Hanna, created a fund to pay off his debts so he could continue his political career. He entered the presidency essentially with a clean slate, but without any personal fortune to his name. Our runner-up for the poorest president, at number 2, is the author of the Declaration of Independence, Thomas Jefferson. This one is truly shocking to many. Jefferson inherited a vast estate, including his famous home, Monticello, but he also inherited his father-in-law's massive debts. He had a passion for books, architecture, wine, and scientific instruments, all incredibly expensive hobbies. He constantly overspent, both in his personal life and while renovating Monticello. When he died on July 4, 1826, the 50th anniversary of the Declaration, he was over $100,000 in debt, which is millions in today's dollars. His heirs were forced to sell Monticello, his slaves, his library, and nearly all of his possessions to try and settle his accounts. And finally, the number 1 poorest leader in U.S. history was Thomas Jefferson. Yes, you heard that right. It's a tie for first place because Jefferson's debt was so staggering and his financial fall so complete that he truly stands as the most prominent example of a president who died deeply in the red. His story serves as a powerful cautionary tale about living beyond one's means, even for a genius who helped shape a nation. While he left behind an unparalleled intellectual and political legacy, his financial legacy was one of ruin. It forces us to reconsider what we value in our leaders, financial success, or the ideas and principles they champion. From Truman's integrity to Grant's resilience and Jefferson's tragic paradox, these stories reveal a different side of leadership. They show that a president's impact isn't defined by their bank account. Their boldness in serving the public, often at great personal cost, is what truly secures their place in history. What do you think? Does a leader's personal wealth matter? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching today. If you enjoyed this journey through history, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with a friend. We'll see you in the next one.